All right, what's going on, friends? This is my kind of tutorial guide for TaleSpire and what I've learned so far and what I've learned from other people. Um, I just got it like 3 days ago, and they released the new update, the Chimera build. So it's got a lot of new features and stuff like that, and I just wanted to show my friends and viewers kind of how this whole thing works and how easy it is to implement games and such into your tabletop environment. So um, basically, the TaleSpire um, game platform is pretty amazing. What I've done here, or what I'm going to try and do, is give you an example of an adventure module everyone knows. Lost Mines of Fandelver. So if you don't already recognize it, this is the very beginning of the adventure, the Goblin Ambush. Um, this community, especially the Discord community for TaleSpire, is absolutely amazing. There's a lot of guys that have uh, basically made maps and copied them onto a website, which I'm gonna show you guys later. But some of these guys have built like fully like towns and everything. This is just amazing. Um, you the detail is just astronomical. So I've basically tried to build Phandalin, just like plunking and playing it into the map, and just adding different sections where the characters can go and explore. We've got like a Red Brand dungeon, and Phandalin, and the Cragmire Keep, and we've got the Bandit Hideout. There's just some really amazing stuff, but I'm gonna show you a little bit on how this whole thing works. So basically, you as a dungeon master, or you can have these tokens you bring up from here, and there's a whole list for the tokens to be popped into the game. And as a dungeon master, you can assign tokens to characters. So when you have other characters join your game, you can assign them to, this guy's assigned to me, because I'm the only one in here right now, but I can assign pretty much all these characters to, let's say, myself, and then we'll just pretend these are players. So you guys remember in the beginning of the adventure, you're headed down and you see two dead horses next to a cart, and then you're pretty much surprised by a goblin ambush. Well, not only are the squares pretty much 5 feet, or they represent 5 feet, but if you go into initiative-based mode where the DM asks you to roll a perception check, there's this really fantastic user script that one of the guys on the Discord community shared with me. Let's see if I can pull this in. So if you look here, D&D Beyond has a user script where you can basically have your full character sheet pulled up, and if you have your character sheet pulled up and the DM asks you to, let's say, roll a perception check, you can scroll down, click your perception, and it'll add it. It'll just throw it into the game. You can roll your perception check. You rolled a 1, or sorry, you rolled an 11, but it'll actually tell you what you rolled instead of just a d20. And over here in the game, there's a chat log. So you rolled perception, and you can always check to see what you've rolled, and et cetera. But say the whole group rolls their perception and someone succeeds at their perception check. You can, as the DM, see the tokens that you've hid by holding down tab. You see you've got human barbarian, Dan, human bandit, horse, but there's archers hidden in the archers and goblins hidden in the trees and stuff. So what I'm gonna do now is once the objects are revealed by the players, I can right click and I can reveal these guys to the characters so that the initiative can basically take place. Another really good thing is, aside from that, let's see. So you have the exploration mode where characters can move themselves around. You know, like I want to go over here and I want to check out this tree. Well, there's this handy dandy little ruler, and if you don't, if you don't want to drag it out, you can say I'm going to move 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30 feet. I'm going to move over here. Okay, yep, you can do that with your movement speed. So you move your character over here. Let's just move these guys around a little bit. But we're going to go into initiative mode now. Just these guys are kind of stuck up on their trees. So I would say, roll for initiative. That puts us in initiative-based mode. Go to this little toggle wheel here. I can bring up my character sheets. And as a DM, you would have, your monsters and everything like that ready to go. So, let's roll initiative for this guy. And he gets a 5. So we'll just add him to initiative, and then I would see what the other rolls are for everyone else. So let's just say, the goblins are gonna go next. We'll grab the little goblinoids, and then we'll do these guys like that, right? And another interesting thing is I'm pretty sure if I set myself as a player, if there's someone that's not in line of sight to the player, you can't actually see them. Hold on, player, GM. Come on. Sorry. Well, I should be able to move him. Maybe it's because I'm a GM. But the other night, anyway, it didn't really have line of sight the other night. So anyway, if you don't have line of sight, it actually removes the token from the board, which is really nice. But let's say if you wanted to go ahead and attack this little goblin, you would just pull up your character sheet, and you would say longsword here, +5 to hit. So, boom. Let's see, 19 + 5, 24. Oh yeah, he hits. Goblin has a really small armor class, so you can actually right-click and attack. And then the DM would obviously either keep track of his health, or you can, there's a little health point bubble here, so let's just say like -5 or whatever, and then that gives me a representation of how much health he has left, which is nice. And they added this really fun thing in for casters. Let's say this guy wants to shoot him with like Eldritch Blast or something. So he's gonna attack him with Magic Missile. It actually shoots out a little Magic Missile, like graphical effect. I think that's amazing. Just adds a lot of cool depth and fun to it. There's lots of cool things you could do, like if you want to represent that your character is flying or something, you can kind of have them levitate off the ground. You can spin them around and enable torch. If you don't have if you're going into a dark place and you don't have a torch, you can do that. There's little emotes that you can do. It's really fantastic for having just that little bit of extra flair for the characters and stuff. But from there, initiative's really easy to get rid of. You just, once your initiative pane's open, you just right click on your characters and just dump the initiative off. wonder where'd this guy go. I guess if you ever lose a character, you can find out where the heck he is. Is this him? Anyway, so I guess another really fantastic thing about this is, let's say you want to explore a tavern or a town or something like that, and your character, you don't know what your characters are doing, or the DM is like, all right, what are you doing? What are you doing? And they all want to kind of do their own thing. Well, one of your characters can say, hey, I'm gonna go check out the blacksmith and talk to him. All right, cool. So you go over here and you can talk to the blacksmith, and maybe your other characters want to go inside the tavern. So if you have a character token, actually go into a tavern, it actually lifts the roof off automatically for you. So if you like pan out, and you have this big giant building, well, for immersion, if you just walk in, another really cool fancy thing is doors. I'll go back to exploration mode. Doors actually open and close. I just think that's amazing. But you can, if someone asks like, hey, can I go up to the bar? I'm gonna go up to the bar and grab a drink. Cool. Well, you can have that character go up to the bar and I don't know why it's doing that. It's being a pain in my ass. And do his thing there. I wonder why it's doing that. But this enables, certain characters to do their own thing in environments, and as the DM goes around the table and asks, people what they're doing, everyone can kind of be doing their own thing, or, as a group, having discussion with an NPC or something like that. It actually just adds a lot of dynamic, and it adds so much for the DM to see what's going on with what the characters actually want to do. I guess another really good example of that would be inside of an actual dungeon. Let's go to this dungeon real quick. For example, this is, these guys are still teleporting. So, Fog of War isn't out yet, I don't think. I think there's a way to do it. I just haven't figured it out, but the actual Fog of War is going to come out, so that when let's say a group of adventurers goes into the dungeon, just get rid of that. When they go into a dungeon and you only want them to see, this section of the building, they are going to enable that Fog of War. But there's certain points in a dungeon where, or on a map, the DM describes to you what you see. It's like, hey, you walk into a 10 by 10, brick room. There's torches on the ground and some boxes and barrels and crates. Okay, well, that's all good. And, I go to the center room and I search. Well, you kind of just have to use your better judgment as a DM sometimes. Like, what are you searching? Well, I want to search these barrels. Oh, you're searching those barrels. Okay, that makes a lot more sense. Or I want to search the room. Well, where are you searching? Well, I want to search in this pool. Oh, okay. Well, that's cool. I can deal with that. It gives you so much more as a DM knowing where your characters are. And specific for instance, this is a secret door here. Like in this dungeon specifically, this is a secret door. So if someone says, I want to walk over here. Okay, cool. Roll a perception check. Oh, hey, something's off with this door. I'm like, oh, really? Yeah, roll me a perception check, blah, 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 blah. And then, they find out that this is actually a secret door. So when the characters, discover that it's a secret door, you can move the panel, and have them walk through or whatever, which is really nice. Or, you could, as a GM, actually build a door into that. But, for like lock doors and stuff, I'm going to go over here and pick the lock. For instance, in this dungeon, I know for a fact that this part of the floor here is trapped where these boards are. Well, as the characters, like set their marching order. I'm like, all right, you can actually see the characters moving their tokens along, and I say stop. Roll a reflex save. I'm like, ah, shit, stepped on something. You know, you know where the characters are. You don't have to guess anymore as a DM. Like, oh no, I wasn't going first. Bob was going first. Well, your token's right there, so I know it was you that was going first. So it's really nice that way. Um, so they roll a reflex save, and the trap goes off or whatever. Another really cool thing is in this part of the dungeon, um, there's a little Nothic like harvester at the bottom of this ravine. And as the players defeat the monster, they can obviously search this area. But what's great about this is in the adventure module, it actually specifically states like if the characters go down into the ravine, they can actually find a little chest. It's like, oh well, holy crap, there's actually a little chest down here. So if the characters actually, negotiate the map and they search around a little bit, oh my god, hey DM, there's a chest right here, man. I'm like, oh yep, actually there is, guys. So, they can find the loot. It is just amazing. Let's go into something like interactive environment. There's a lot of people that like to do, improv and interact with their environment. So if you wanted to go into a room with a bunch of bandits or something, and I'm like, all right, I want to jump up on the table, and then I want to kick this dude in the face. Well, give me an athletics check. There's all kinds of cool stuff. Or I'm gonna grab this barrel and I'm gonna throw it at his face. Well, it's amazing because you can, as a player, you can physically see what the environment has to give you as far as interaction. It is amazing. All the doors open, they all close. There's just so much fun with these dungeons, and you can build them yourself. You can build them from the ground up, or there's these great websites with people that have shared their designs. Like this is one of my favorite intro dungeons. This is in Lost Mines of Fendelver. This is the I think this is not Kragmaw Hideout, but anyway, it's the cave dungeon where the characters go into the cave and hold on, there's this. Oh, I think I lagged it out a little bit. There's this dungeon where they go in and they have to fight the goblins and rescue Sildar Howlwater or Hillwater, whatever his name is, from this place. Looks like my TaleSpire's not responding. Bummer. Might have to close it out. But I wanted to show you water level and then get into some of the tools. Okay. It took a dump on me, but that's fine because it's still a work in progress. It's the first time it's ever actually quit on me, so we'll get her back up here in a second. Yeah, I'm having a blast with this. It gives you so much freedom as a DM to just build your dream dungeons and your dream environments, your towns, all the things that you've ever thought of. It's now within your grasp. You can build a 3D rendered town, city. Hell, someone went crazy with it. It's almost like Minecraft, but for Dungeons and Dragons. Like you can do anything you want in here, really. And this is only early access, so all the assets that they're going to end up adding to this is just going to be awesome. Yeah, I wanted to show you token sizing and all that, and have just fundamental controls of the game. So I'm going to do that here soon once TaleSpire loads back up. Here we go. All right, now that we've loaded our assets, so you've got this really amazing feature. So you're inside the dungeon, you know, and in this dungeon you're supposed to have a water level, right? So you can raise the water level to just about the right height, and you can get that immersion where the characters are actually standing, next to an actual. Grab my dude. Let's just grab this guy. Where you're actually standing next to this river, and as you're going along, you get that depth of immersion where you're surrounded by water and stuff like that. It's just really cool. You obviously don't have to be like a giant noob with the camera like I am, but in this room you have the wolves that are chained up to the floor. You can get in depth with it. So in depth with this. It's just so much fun. But let's go to somewhere wide open so I can show you some of the camera controls. So obviously, in that part of the dungeon you have water. So when you go back to town, you don't want the water there. It looks kind of silly. So you just dump the water back down. So the panels on the right, if I want to show you one of the cool things for area of effect spells. So if you have a caster and you want to do, let's do the good old-fashioned fireball, and it's a 15-meter radius. So everyone knows, 15-meter radius, you just draw 5 or 3 squares to the right. So you got 5, 10, 15-meter radius. Boom, there's your fireball. You've got cone effects for cone of cold. It's just amazing, and everyone can see these effects. When you put them down. You've got your generic ruler where you can break up your movement. Let's go here. So you're like, all right, I want to go over here for 10 squares, and then over here, and then over there, and then jig up here, and then bounce off this rooftop, and then boing up there, and then do a backflip over here. Like, okay, go for it, man, roll it. As far as the camera controls, this slider will toggle just how high up your field of view is. This one triggers when the cutoff for 3D environment, or when the 3D environment is gonna be cut off. So if you, as a DM, wanna make sure you can see where everyone is at the time, you can kind of lock this, and that's what I was trying to do earlier. Say I wanna see where all my characters are. I can lock that field of view and see where all my players are. That's real nice. Let's see what else. Your dice rolls are pretty straightforward. As far as like a player, it's really easy to navigate because you only have your dice and just the character that you can move around, and your camera controls obviously, and your drawing tools. But as a GM, you've got obviously everything here. But there's some really, really fun stuff inside of here for weather controls. I mean, you'd be like, all right, it's sun's going down, it's dark out, it's nighttime. You can really set the tone for what's going on. You can set where the sun is in the sky for shadow effects. I mean, this just gets crazy. If you're playing like a vampire-centric thing, you want some dense fog at nighttime, or I mean, this is just crazy. Let's see, we've got ambient music. You can do rain. You can do combat music, for getting into that fight with the goblin or the giant or whatever. Another really cool thing for the character tokens is, say you have a character that gets, certain spell effects like growth, growth effects. You like enlarge, reduce, shrink, potion, giant strength, just bits and pieces like that. It can resize token so that the player has a representation of how large their token might be. A lumbering giant walking through the battlefield. It's fun. Speaking of tokens, there's some really monsters they've been working on. This new Chimera build, obviously, you've got the Chimera. Phenomenal character model. This guy. They did. Really fun to play around with these tokens, just give the characters like sometimes, you don't have a grasp on what you're facing, but this is just so much fun to have that imposing shit factor, in a 3D rendered environment, it's just so much fun to give people an idea of what they're facing. Everything, on this game, I used to play some second edition. We used to just draw shit on a piece of paper. But this, for me, seeing where technology is going, this is just amazing. The fact that it's fully integrated too with D&D Beyond is just amazing. You could literally just say the character sheet open up, as you're looking around, or have it panned down like this, or have two monitors like I do. Have your character sheet on one tab and this on the other tab. And you literally just click your ability, boom, roll the long sword. It's amazing, or roll your damage dice. It's really cool. We've got our 3. Here's my damage for my long sword. Boom, I hit him for 11 points of damage, then attack him, whack. Just so cool. That's a very short and simple guide. Not even really a guide, but more of like a showcase of what this game has to offer. Not game, but rendered environment. All of that. Rendered environment platform. I'm in love with it. I think it's amazing for people to play with. And can't wait to see where this goes over the years. I mean, I can only imagine different attack animations and stuff like that for everything, but you've got a place where you can hang out, your characters can hang out, guild halls and stuff like that, and for only $24, like, anyone can afford that, to have an awesome experience. So, yeah, I'm sold. This is too much fun. And like I said, if you're a DM and if you want to create like the coolest, I mean, look at this. I don't know how long this guy spent on this, but this is amazing. He's got 3 levels 3-tiered levels of this awesome guild house and tavern, and he's put some work into it. You know, here's his 3rd level. I mean, he's got books and just maps and cool stuff like where the cool characters can hang out. You know, you can populate this full with NPCs. His 3rd level or 2nd level is the actual inn level where people sleep. You can have like assassination side quests and stuff like that, where you have some dude sleeping in here and you sneak up into the tavern at nighttime. You lockpick the door, you kill the dude, you jump out the window. You know, you jump out the window over here, you run away from the guards. This is just crazy. You know, the potential is just limitless. I am so happy TaleSpire got to where it is now. I've never been more excited for playing Dungeons & Dragons ever. It's fantastic. So with that, hope everyone liked the video. I'll be sending it to my friends, and I'll, as the days goes on or something like that, once I create something, maybe I'll do some more tutorial videos. But I don't really, it's not really, I don't really need to do tutorial videos anymore, because they've actually built tutorials into the game now. It's more of like a showcase, really. They have tutorials in it, so if you download it for yourself, you can learn all this by yourself. But